What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. We are here on the Chaos 10 Wyvern's Den incursion to farm up a little Crystal Betsy egg, is the big prize from this map, and we're going to take advantage of the Pufferfish. Now, this build we did quite a bit on stream over the last couple of days. It's super effective, works incredibly with a 4-player group. With our Pufferfish, of course, we now know that they do need Piercer Servo. We're going with Piercer Servo, Defense Rate, and Anti-Melee with Mass Destruction, Caustic Venom, and Destruction. Let's go ahead and start it off here. The placements are a little tricky up on this, so I usually like to place down a buff beam first. Placing a buff beam first, and then we're going to go with 6 Pufferfish right along the buff beam here. So 3 and 3, something like that. Now we do want to give it Destructive Pylon, so we're going to sneak a Reflect Beam in here. The Reflect Beam is not actually here to reflect. It's just there for the Destructive Pylon, and that's why it doesn't have any real coverage there. And then to top it off, we are going to go with a Boost Aura. Let's go ahead and do the exact same thing over here, just creating just a massive, massive power zone in the center of the map here. I like to go kind of like on that little stump piece, and then you can just go all the way over onto the side pad. And then on this one, it gives you quite a bit more room to get your Pufferfish in order here. So 6 Pufferfish down. Same thing there. We're going to go with a Reflect Beam just for the Destructive Pylon. And then we're going to give it a Boost Aura back behind everything. And then last but not least, we're going to put 6 more of these baddies right up top here. This one, I usually throw the Boost Aura and the Buff Beam down first. So if we get a Boost Aura right there on that little side pad, and then throw our buff beam down, just something like that. And then here we're going to have to put them in a row, so we won't get to 3 and 3. We're going to go as close as we can get to the end of the buff beam, and that should give us enough room. We got a little collision with that Boost Star there. I think we should still be able to get 6 of them in now. Let's try it out. Have to go a little wonky on this one. Yeah, we got to go a little bit wonky on that one. You see that one is also outside of the Boost Star. That is going to get resolved, of course, once we get our Destructive Pylon down. So we're going to have to just throw it down here anywhere we can get it. I'm just going to stick it right next to the Boost Star, something like that. Now, of course, we are going to need some walls with this one. And remember, the Pufferfish are going to require line of sight. I'm going to use the werewolf walls just to make sure the Pufferfish have a place to look in. If you go like right about here, you can see that the Pufferfish can see down to anything that's going to be hitting this wall right here. And then additionally, we can come back here. And here we can allow the enemies to make it all the way around the turn. We do want to make sure those Pufferfish have good line of sight though. So we're going to throw a Werewolf Commander right about like so with a Reflect Beam there as well. Now the other lanes are pretty straightforward. This one, like one of the best choke points in the lane is right here. So we're going to throw another Werewolf right here. We're going to give it a Reflect Beam. And then remember, this map has the cheeky Hex Throwers thrown at the core from up here. So placing the Werewolf there is going to remedy that problem as well, because this Reflect Beam is also going to be covering the core. And then right here in the middle, we'll go ahead and go with 2 werewolves side by side. Just, you can place them damn near anywhere, really. And we'll give it a Reflect Beam as well. Now, you see we got 140 DU left. You can kind of do whatever you want with the remainder. One of the things that we were doing on stream was throwing a couple more Pufferfish up front here. And these, of course, got that poison damage ticking on these 2 lanes right away. So we would throw the 2 Pufferfish there. That only leaves us 60 left. So we're trying to maximize the range of them. So we're going to go with the Destructive Range Pylon and Diffusion on the Buff Beam. So there it is. That is it, and it just screams. You never have to worry about the curses. You could move your werewolves, which would give them more effectiveness. However, the werewolves are going to survive just fine without really worrying about what's going on there. From there, we can just let everything get dotted up and just kind of keep an eye on things. Once we get a few upgrades in, you can pretty much go ignore mode on most of the stuff until you get to the boss fight. However, prior to getting upgrades in, probably always a good idea just to keep an eye out for any potential leaks. But as you see, everything is holding pretty strong so far. We got a chieftain, the chieftain, as all Chaos 10 maps. If there's anything that's going to make it to your wall, it's likely going to be either a chieftain or berserker. No difference here. The only thing making it through are the chieftains, and there was a berserker right there. So, yep, chieftains and berserkers for the win, or for the loss, depending on whether or not you're paying attention to them. But kind of a fun build, too, with the pufferfish just shooting the projectiles all over the place. You see we did get a little freeze action there from the frost orcs. However, it's just not enough to really damper the pufferfish too much. The bulk of the pufferfish damage is coming from the poison dot. So with that in mind, if it gets slowed, it doesn't really matter a whole lot, as it's still getting dotted up and still getting that poison, which is going to continue to tick away here. So wave 1 complete, pretty smooth sailing there, and one more chieftain here. All right, chieftain down. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just throw a few random upgrades in everywhere. Upgrading evenly is probably the best way to go, but I'm just going to kind of slap it around and, just get whatever I can wherever. We'll get this area good and juicy, and there we go. Now we see our curse dropped completely up here, so it is something we don't even need to look at. It is completely out of the way, and we can just let it fly. And we got a round of upgrades in, so things are going to be good and thick now, and really dishing out the pain. So you see the Zerks made it to the wall there, but just died instantly as soon as they got there. I've got anti-heal going on the Reflect Beam. Of course, if you had anti-heal on a Water Aura or Flame Aura or whatever out in the lane, that would give you that anti-heal value right up front. But since we're using the walls, I don't really feel like it's necessary. In fact, I don't even feel like you need anti-heal on the Reflect Beam at all there. We got one chieftain that can't decide what he wants to do, so let's just go ahead and kill him. But pretty smooth sailing. Now this is that Earth Guardian's bow that I changed up on stream the other day. It was my original hunter bow, and then I dropped it for single 4, and now we're back to the Earth Guardians. I gotta say, I love this bow and I hate this bow. The shot type is quite awesome. Definitely dig the shot type. However, it's got homing that I absolutely can't stand. So, like, if there is an ogre, say, right there, and there is an orc or a goblin, say, right in front of it, you can shoot completely at that ogre's head, and the projectiles are just going to go down and hit the goblin. And I absolutely cannot stand that, but it's still, without question, going to be the boss killer bow, if you're wanting to use a bow user, of course, for your boss fights. Now, Betsy, of course, is probably the easiest of all the bosses, I believe. I think so. Yeah, I think Betsy would probably be the easiest of all the bosses. So it doesn't require a massive amount of damage output to get old Betsy down. But, yeah, use what you got. Earth Guardians, definitely not required. And, like I said, definitely has some downsides, too. The little tracking thing, just sometimes it just triggers me to no end. Don't like the homing projectile, but, I am definitely not a master at aim either, so I'm sure it helps me far more than it hurts me. That is without a doubt. Everything's getting smoked pretty good now. We can get another round of upgrades in the middle, and it's just going to be over. just gonna be over for all these baddos here. This guy took some shots. Oh, it's because of the curse. I'll get a upgrade on that wall. We could move it up a little bit and get it out of the curse, of course. But I don't think it's the end of the world. I think it will hold up just fine. Still has, you know, plenty of health. Doesn't lose any health value from the curse. But it did take some shots. We got a roller making the turn over here. Of course, this is not a siege roller friendly build. You could actually ignore any siege rollers that came from the center or this far lane. But if they come out of that super short, windy lane up top, you'll probably have, or over to the east, I should say, you could have some problems with that one. All right, let's get, oh, we got straight up upgraded, or cursed right here, too. Just to show that you don't really have to move these, I'm going to just leave them there. But, of course, the smart thing to do would be to move them out of the curse area a little bit. But we're just going to leave them there and let them go. Like these two, you could easily just move right up here, and it'd be no problem. This one, you could just scooch it forward just a tiny bit, and it would be no problem. And then same thing over here. You could scooch this one forward just a tiny bit. It's barely in the curse now, but you can see the little particle effect going on them. So it's definitely still there, just not in it really heavily. Get a few upgrades in here just while the wave's running, just to make sure that final wave goes nice and smooth. And surprisingly, the flyers all get wrecked on this build. I have never, you know, I just assumed that it was going to work out better to throw some Skyguards down. But these guys just do an incredible job just chewing away all the flyers. So, very nice stuff right there. Get one more upgrade on that guy. Better hurry up. There we go. Gonna say he was getting low. He was getting low. Smack that ogre down. Looks like the rest of the walls are doing okay. This one went yellow, but it's not really that low. This is the only guy taking any real damage here. And there we go. We are through the bulk of the run. So now, of course, all we have is Betsy, which, as everyone knows, Betsy is a super quick slap down. Kind of a fun map. I do really like this map. There was talks about getting this map added into Onslaught and Expeditions without the boss portion. And I think that would be awesome, because this is a pretty cool map. It looks super pretty. I just like it. I just like it. The Betsy fight itself, you know, like I said, is pretty trivial. We're just going to sit right here on top of these blockades and just smoke her right out of the gates here. See if we can get us another Crystal Betsy pet. And there we go. Betsy down. Let's check out the loot here. See what kind of goods we got in the box. Go ahead and get rid of these guys. That way we can see the full glory of that Crystal Betsy egg laying on the ground. Will it be there? Of course, the drop chance is fairly low on this one. And nope, no Crystal Betsy egg for us today. Oh well. But that is a fun little build using the new hero. The Pufferfish are quite cool. Thematically very, very fun to use. And they absolutely just shred this map, without a doubt. But that will do it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching. And I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.